Welcome to Travel Austria, quick tips, great trips. Today we're doing a deep dive into building the perfect first trip to Austria. We've distilled it all down into a list of 10 essential places.
But it's more than just a list of places, isn't it? What we're really looking at is the strategy behind it.
Exactly. This isn't about giving you a 40-stop checklist that would just burn you out. It's about getting the right mix.
Right. A formula, almost. We think you need one iconic city, one beautiful historic town, a lake or a valley for some peace.
One of those big mountain moments, and this is key. At least one place that still feels, quietly and authentically Austrian.
And that's what turns a stressful sightseeing trip into a real travel experience. We're gonna break down how these places are tiered and how the quick tips we've got for you are the secret to making it all work.
It all starts with how much time you have, right? The guide is basically a menu you can choose from.
If you've only got, say, 3 or 4 days, you should probably stick to the cities. Vienna, Salzburg, the heavy hitters.
But if you can stretch it to 7 or 10
then
days,
you can start to combine those cities with the lakes. Maybe add a scenic region like the Wachau Valley.
and for the lucky ones with 2 full weeks,
That's when you add a big alpine day, like the Großglockner Road, and critically, you add in a slower, smaller town for that authentic feeling.
okay, that makes so much sense. It's about matching your itinerary to your time. So let's start at the beginning with the foundation, Vienna.
Vienna or Wien. It has to be the beginning. It's just elegant, walkable, and packed with so much culture. Imperial palaces, museums, those incredible coffee houses.
And the thing that always strikes me is that it feels lived in. It doesn't feel like a stage set for tourists.
Exactly. And the key to really getting Vienna is what we call the required balance. You can't just rush from one palace to the next.
So you're saying pick one grand highlight, like Schönbrunn Palace or the historic center.
Yes, do that. But then you have to pair it with what we call a slow Vienna moment.
What does that look like in practice? A coffee house.
A coffee house is perfect. Or just wandering through a market, or even finding a bench in a park and just watching the city go by. Yeah, it's about counteracting that temptation to just tick boxes.
You absorb the city's character that way, not just its architecture.
You feel its pulse. And that leads to our first big quick tip for Vienna. You need a 2-night minimum.
Right, I love the reasoning for this. The first day is just to be impressed, to get the scale of it all out of your system.
Yes, but that second day, that's when you can actually start to feel like Vienna. You can put the map away and just immerse yourself.
If you skip that second day, you've only seen the stage, not the play.
Perfectly put. Which connects to the next tip. Don't overplan. Some of the best moments in Vienna happen when you just stop. Let the city's rhythm find you.
Okay, so from the grandeur of Vienna, we move to our second cornerstone, Salzburg.
Ah, Salzburg. It's so compact, so beautiful. And I mean, it's extremely first-time friendly.
It's defined by those Baroque streets, the huge fortress looming over the old town.
And the mountains, they're just right there creating this perfect postcard backdrop everywhere you look.
And because it's so compact, it's easy to see the main thing. Stroll the old town, get the views from the fortress, see the Mirabelle Garden.
But that compactness is also its biggest challenge. It gets crowded fast.
Which brings us to a really tactical quick tip. The guide calls Salzburg the definition of go early or stay overnight.
This is so important. Salzburg is a huge day trip destination, and those day trippers completely change the atmosphere.
You're talking about that midday tsunami of tour buses?
Exactly. Between about 11 o'clock a.m. and 3 o'clock p.m., those narrow, charming streets can feel really congested and rushed. The magic sort of evaporates.
So to get that calm, romantic vibe, you have to be strategic.
You do aim for the early morning or the late afternoon. That's when you'll get the best photos and the calmest views.
You know, I never thought about the light, but Baroque architecture with all its curves and details must look incredible in that soft early or late light.
It absolutely does. The shadows define the shapes. Midday sun just flattens everything. So by timing it right, you get a calmer experience and a more beautiful one.
Okay, that sets us up perfectly for our next section. We're shifting from the cities to scenery and strategic peace, starting with the famous one, Hallstatt.
Hallstatt. Yes, it's a global icon for a reason. It's unbelievably pretty, but that fame means it is also incredibly crowded.
So what's the strategy here? Avoid it.
No, not at all. The key is to de-emphasize the icon. Hallstatt is the famous village, but the entire Salzkammergut Lake district is the real win.
Ah, so you use Hallstatt as a short visit, but you spend most of your time around the other quieter lakes like Wolfgangsee or Traunsee.
Precisely. The lakes are where Austria really slows down. The tactical move is to stay near one of those other lakes and just pop over to Hallstatt for a couple of hours, very early or very late.
So you get your iconic photo, you see the beauty, but you avoid the stress of the peak season crowds.
You get the best of both worlds. The one thing you absolutely must not do is arrive in Hallstatt at midday in July. That's a recipe for frustration.
And this region isn't just for serious hikers, right?
Not at all. It's very accessible. You can take boat rides, find amazing viewpoints, stroll through villages, sit at a lakeside cafe. It's what we call easy nature. Yeah. Beautiful
Yeah.
and restorative.
From the lakes, we move to another scenic classic, but one that's maybe a bit easier logistically, the Wachau Valley along the Danube.
Yes, the Wachau is one of Austria's most scenic, easy wins. It's all vineyards, river views, little towns like Dürnstein and Melk. It's the perfect scenic add-on to a Vienna trip.
And the key here is what you call low logistics countryside.
Exactly. To do a big alpine trip, you need a car. Yeah. You're checking road conditions.
Yeah.
Dealing with altitude. It's a whole thing.
But the Wachau is simpler. You can get there by train from Vienna, then use a ferry or even a bike to get around.
Beautiful countryside without the stress. The idea is just pick one or two towns and build your day around simple pleasures. A slow lunch, overlooking the river, walk, stop at a winery.
And timing is important here too.
Very. The quick tip is to aim for spring or early autumn. In spring, you get all the blossoms. In autumn, the vineyards turn gold and red. The light is softer. The crowds are lighter. It just enhances the whole experience.
It's the difference between a nice view and a perfect memory. Okay, now for a big shift. Let's get into the alpine heartbeat of Austria, starting with Innsbruck.
Innsbruck is where Austria's mountain identity becomes effortless. It's a proper city, but the Alps are just there. They're not in the distance, they're towering right over you.
So it's perfect if you want that mountain feeling, but you still want city comforts like restaurants and museums.
It's the perfect blend. It provides a safety net. You can have your coffee in that beautiful historic old town, and then 10 minutes later, you're on a cable car heading up into a high alpine environment.
It's like mountains on demand.
Exactly. So you enjoy the city center, see the golden roof, and then just make sure you get at least one mountain view, whether it's from a cable car or just a scenic cafe.
And there's a great tip here about the weather. If the weather is moody, don't panic.
Yes, this is so important for managing your expectations in the mountains. Fog swirling around the peaks, dramatic clouds. It can actually make the city feel even more atmospheric and gorgeous.
So if Innsbruck is the mountain city, where do we go for a full lake plus mountain base?
For that, you head to Zell am See and the Hohe Tauern region. This is where you get that classic combination in one spot. It's a great base for exploring viewpoints without needing to do long, hard hikes.
But there's a really crucial logistical tip here about seasonal access.
This is non-negotiable. You have to check if the high alpine roads and lifts are open. Many are summer only. You can't just assume from a map that a road will be passable in May or October.
Ignoring that could really mess up your itinerary.
Completely. But if you plan for it, the vibe is just wonderful. It's perfect for quiet mornings and that easy nature feel we talked about.
Okay, now for the grand finale of the Alpine section, the big one, the Großglockner High Alpine Road.
This is the wow moment. It's one of the greatest scenic drives in Europe. The scale of it feels almost unreal.
And the analysis here is all about commitment and safety. The guide is very clear. This is a full experience, not a quick detour.
It's not a shortcut. It's the destination. It's a long technical drive with big altitude changes. If you try to rush it, you'll be stressed, unsafe, and you'll miss the point.
So you need to dedicate a full day to it.
A full clear day. The crucial tip is to go early. Mountain weather changes incredibly fast. A clear morning is your best bet for good views.
What if you're not comfortable with that kind of driving?
Then you look into a guided day tour. It's a great option. You can just relax and soak in the phenomenal scenery without gripping the steering wheel.
That's a smart trade-off. Okay, we've covered the cities, the lakes, and the mountains. Now for what the guide calls the strategic itinerary upgrades. Let's start with the underrated gem, Graz.
Graz is such a fantastic choice. It's stylish, it's relaxed, it has a beautiful UNESCO listed old town, but it also has this wonderful creative energy and an amazing local food scene.
It's a different kind of energy from Vienna, right? Right. Less imperial, more contemporary.
That's it, exactly. It has a big student population. It's UNESCO City of Design. It just feels lighter.
And the key advice for Graz is that you absolutely must stay overnight.
A 1 night minimum, at least. A day trip just doesn't work. Graz really shines at night. That's when the squares and courtyard restaurants come alive and it gets this warm, almost southern European feel.
It's for the traveler who wants culture without the big city intensity.
It's the perfect counterpoint. And speaking of counterpoints, let's talk about the far west, Bregenz and Lake Constance.
The Bodensee. This serves as the western counterbalance to an itinerary focused on the east.
It does. And it has a totally different atmosphere. It's much more about a relaxed lake lifestyle, sunsets, walks by the water, a very gentle pace.
So its strategic value is, 1, it's perfect if you're combining Austria with Germany or Switzerland.
Yes, a great entry or exit point. And 2, it provides a necessary break in the itinerary. If you've been doing city after museum after city, Bregenz just completely resets the pace. You avoid that museum fatigue.
Okay, and that brings us to the last point, which you said is maybe the most powerful tip in the entire guide.
I really think it is. It's the small town strategy, the single move that upgrades the whole trip.
And that move is to deliberately add 1 night in a small, quiet town, a place that isn't a major highlight.
Exactly. A place like Steyr or Krems or Rust. A place where you can just have dinner, walk around after the day trippers have gone, and feel the country breathe.
Why is that so powerful?
Because it breaks the cycle of what you could call performance travel. In the big cities, you're always on, always moving, always consuming. In a small town at night, you stop being a tourist and just exist. You can actually hear the quiet.
It lets all the big memories from Vienna and the Alps settle in.
It does. And the ultimate quick tip here is radical. If your itinerary feels rushed, take out 1 big stop and add 1 small town night instead.
That's a brave move for a first-timer.
It is, but the payoff is huge. A better mood, better photos in the empty streets at dawn, and that feeling of having actually been somewhere, not just passed through it.
So let's bring it all together. The formula for a great first trip seems to be Vienna plus Salzburg plus the Lake District plus 1 other region of your choice.
That's the core of it. And that one region is where you customize. You can pick the Wachau for easy scenic countryside.
Or Innsbruck and Tyrol if you want those accessible alpine city vibe.
Or Graz and Styria for that relaxed culture and food scene.
That ensures you have variety without the stress of constant travel. It seems the key insight is that a great trip is all about curating the pace and the balance.
It is. You have to offset the big imperial history with moments of quiet nature and slower towns. The difference between a rushed trip and a great one is often choosing to remove a stop and replace it with stillness.
So the guide frames travel success not by what you see, but by what you skip without regret.
Exactly. And that leaves you with a final question to think about. Which iconic stop are you willing to sacrifice to truly feel the country breathe? Because making that choice, trading a monument for a quiet moment, is what will define the quality of your memory.
Thanks for listening to Travel Austria, Quick Tips, Great Trips.
And see you soon in Austria.